everyone, I am back with another video. This is Authentically Tiffany. First, I wanted to start off by thanking everyone again for reaching out, for supporting me, and all the messages that I've received so far on the videos just in the past week. Thank you for the support I didn't think I was going to receive, but thank you. So, getting into this next video, I left out something that I wanted to say in the last video. I totally forgot to mention this, but it's pretty important. So, before I gave birth to my daughter, after I got home from being kicked out, and I came back home, before I gave birth, my mom had come to me and asked if it was okay if her boyfriend could be in the delivery room with us when I gave birth. Now I know how absurd that sounds. When she asked me this, I had just gotten home, and for those of you who don't understand manipulation and control from an authoritative figure in your life, you probably won't resonate. But for those who have gone through something similar, the people who are manipulated by these people feel inferior and feel like not so much weak, but like what they say and what they do doesn't matter. So when my mother came and asked me if her boyfriend can be in the delivery room when I gave birth, at 18 years old, I was screaming in my head, no, like absolutely not. I was so upset that she would even ask me that question. But I just got back home, and I knew that if I said no, or I just thought that if I said no, it would cause her to act out or to just treat me treat me in a way I just didn't want to be treated. And I was about to give birth, and I didn't want to go into my delivery room and be in labor and just feel a certain way, even though I was going to feel a certain way regardless if I said yes. And I did end up saying yes, which I look back and this is something I have to forgive myself for, but I look back at all the times that I caved and all the times that I wanted to say no and I just could not say no. For those of you who resonate with me and my feelings, this is kind of how I went through life. I'm a people pleaser. So I always want to make someone happy. I always want to make sure that how they feel, it matters to me. So I always put myself last. And this is an issue that I've had with myself. I realize I've had with myself on this healing journey. This is one of my main issues. I don't ever think about me. I always put how everybody else feels first. And in that moment, I just did not want to cause any drama, and I didn't want to cause anything before I gave birth, and I just got home. So I just said yes. I was so upset with myself. And when I gave birth to my daughter in the delivery room, when he was there, I was uncomfortable. I was just upset and uncomfortable. And my sisters were upset. And I mean, I look back and I know I have to forgive myself for hating myself for doing stuff like that, because that's who I was at that time. I didn't have a voice. I couldn't speak up. I just didn't. I was always putting myself last on the back burner. My feelings, how I felt, didn't matter. So this is what I've learned about myself through this process. And I've known that I have been doing this throughout my life. And it's something that I need to work on, and I have. And with doing these videos, it's helped me a lot to speak up when something's bothering me, when something does not sit right with me, to speak up, and that saying no is okay. I had a hard time for a long time saying no. I could not say no to people. I just did not want the disappointment. I didn't want them to feel a certain way. So I always just gave in. And now I know the boundaries that I set with myself is important. And it protects me. And I can say no now. I feel comfortable saying no. It was hard at first. It was very, very hard to tell my first no to somebody. I felt like I didn't want to, but I made myself do it. I had to say, no, I don't feel comfortable. I'm not going to do it. And after I said it, I was like, whew, it was a sigh of relief. Like, I listen to myself and I feel so much better. And how they feel is irrelevant to me. Like, I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. That's something that I carried for so long. And I can finally break free of that. And it feels good. And going into this video, when I came home from the hospital with my daughter, of course reality sets in. I have a baby. I have a whole human child that is mine and that I have to take care of. And it really set in. I was 18 and I went back home, and my sisters had the room because we were still in school. The school that I went to gave me a 6-week maternity leave from school, and my school fortunately had a program set up to where a teacher would come to my house once a week or twice a week or something like that, and bring me my schoolwork. And I would do the schoolwork at home, and then she would come back and pick it up and take it back to school. And then she would also come and check on me and the baby to see if we were okay. So that's what I did for my 6-week being at home with my daughter. Being at home with my daughter, I was getting up every 2 hours like clockwork, because she was feeding every 2 hours. Literally like clockwork. So every 2 hours she would get up in the middle of the night with no help from anyone. My mother made it clear when I got back home that was my baby, and she wasn't getting up in the middle of the night. She wasn't doing feeding, so she wasn't doing diaper changes. She wasn't doing none of that in the middle of the night. Because of course, I don't know, I guess she had to work too, and then my sisters were still leaving, getting up early and going to school. And so, but yeah, like when my daughter would wake up, I had to get up every 2 hours and do the feedings all by myself. And I remember my daughter, and I slept on the couch. That was my room. Once I had the baby, I slept on the couch in the living room, and my daughter had a little bassinet that I put by my couch. And so my mom had her room, and then my sisters were in the room. So I remember several nights really, but this one particular night, my daughter started to get up, and it was, I don't know, early in the morning, 2 something in the morning or so. And how babies first try and get up, they don't automatically just start crying. They kind of make this little whiny sound. So she was whining to get up or whatever. And, you know, I'm 18. I hear it. But, you know, of course you're in the back of your head, maybe she'll go back to sleep. So I'm laying down and I hear her whining a little bit, and she's moving around and whining. And then all of a sudden you hear my mom in the other room. She's screaming, "Tiffany, get up, feed the baby." And I'm like, chill out, calm down. So, but this is what she would do all the time when she heard her in the living room. Like, I couldn't even, there was times where I got up on my own, but sometimes when she would hear it, it would wake her up, and then she would be screaming, "Tiffany, get up!" And I'm like, I'm getting up and I'm getting the milk, you know? Absolutely no help in the middle of the night. I did that all on my own. So it was hard. There were times where I sat there and I was just like, you know, what did I get myself into? My daughter's other grandmother, she would come by. If it was not once a week, it was maybe like once every 2 weeks. But my mother, I tried to have them come, my daughter's father and his mom, on when my mom wasn't home. My mom held this hate for them, which I never understood. And it was only because they talked back, you know. She's used to nobody talking back to her, or not giving her any type of, you know, fight back. They did, you know, and so she hated them. And understandably, I understand a parent getting upset when, you know, their child is pregnant by someone and you're not liking that. But to have hate for someone after it's all said and done, I never got. Like, I don't hold hate in my heart for anyone. Like, I may dislike somebody, but the anger subsides and it goes away from me. So I don't resonate with people who sit there and say, well, I guess I can't say that because I say I hate my mom. So let me take that back. Let me take that back. I do understand what it feels to hate, but to hold hate for like other people, like I don't find myself hating people the way I hate my mom. Like I can dislike someone, but the anger that I will have for them, it subsides and it goes away. She hated these people for no reason to me. It's like, you're upset because I got pregnant by somebody you didn't like. First of all, he's black. First of all, he sells, you know, drugs or whatever you don't like. He had nothing going for him, you thought, you know, at that time. I understand the dislike behind that. But to have hate for somebody and to tell your daughter, when you come live with me, because basically me coming back and living in my mom's house, I could not be with him. I could not speak to him. I could not deal with him. And I agreed just because I was back at the house. Did I want to agree? No. No, I did not want to agree. I wanted to be with him. I had a baby, and I was thinking in my mind, we're going to be together. We have a baby, you know, we're going to have this life. But of course my mom's like, no, that all ends now. She was implanting things into my head all the time. When he would get upset with her for not letting him come by the house or come into the house. She said if he came over, he couldn't come in the house. I had to bring the baby out. So that would upset him. And of course it didn't make him retaliate because he was just that type of person. He hated her. So he would retaliate, yell at her, and that made my mom just hate him even more. And so it was just back and forth. And then when that would happen, she'd be like, look, she would tell me things on a daily, like, you don't even have you guys don't have custody. Y'all never went to court. Y'all don't have custody. He can come and take your baby anytime. He can kidnap your baby. He can do this and this and this to your baby. You don't even know what he's going to be doing with your baby if you drop him off by herself over there at his house. You don't know what his mom and everybody are going to be doing to your baby. She would do all this stuff into my head all the time. So this is what she would do to me, and she would feed this to me all the time. So it kind of made me on edge, and I'm like, no, I know they wouldn't do stuff like that, but then she was constantly feeding that to me because she did not want them to have my daughter whatsoever. So this caused, of course, another rift between everyone, and it just made me just completely upset with her and this whole situation. I just wanted to be done with the whole situation, to be honest with you. When my daughter was born, when I brought her home, there would be several occasions, a lot of times, actually, I would catch her, like, holding my daughter, and she would be, like, rubbing her face and rubbing her nose. And I saw this, like I said, on several occasions, and then, one day I saw her doing it, and then I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "I'm shaping her nose. You need to do this when she's a baby, because when babies are small, you can shape them however you want. And I'm shaping her nose because you don't want her to have this wide nose like those black people be having. They have wide noses." This is what she says to me, and I'm like, "What?" I said, I'm like, "Her nose is fine." And she's like, "You don't want it to look like her father, so she's shaping her. I'm shaping her nose. I did that to y'all when y'all were little." This is what she would tell us. "I did that to you guys. I did it to all three of you. I would just shape your nose." I'm like, okay. And she would also, my daughter, when she was born, she had lots of color, actually. She did not, she didn't come out pale or anything like that. She came out really brown and red and brown. And when I got her home, she even darkened up a little bit. And so my mom would always make these little smart comments, and she'd say, "Oh, well, hopefully she'll lighten up when she gets a little older. When she gets bigger, hopefully she'll lighten up." Stuff like that always bothered me, because I'm like, can you just shut up? This is what I really just want to say. Just shut up. Like, your entire family is black. Just shut up. And I'm not talking about light skin. My entire family is brown or dark skin. So it's like, you hate yourself that much. That means you hate your mother. You hate everybody. Like, I don't get that. I don't get that about her. Like, she has all this stuff to say about black people, but your mother is a dark-skinned woman. Like, I just kind of want to know where all this stuff comes from with her, because I never got the notion that any of my family members did any of this when she was smaller, or like said things like this. I just never got that from any of them. So I don't know where this mentality comes from. After my maternity leave was up and I had to go back to school, my school, like I said, had that program set up. So what they would do is a school bus would come early in the morning for me and my daughter and pick us both up and take us to a daycare that was facilitated by the high school. And I would drop my daughter off at that daycare, and then it was free of charge because it was part of the school. And then the bus would take me to school, and then after school the bus would pick me up and take me to the daycare to pick her up and then drop us back off at home. So I did this, of course, for the remainder of the school year. So I had 4 months left of school, and I did this for the remaining of the school year until I graduated. I also kind of want to mention this because I'm going to close this video out with this. It was really a short video right now. I didn't journal that much for me to do another video, a longer video. Prior to my sisters and I graduating high school, like I said, I have 4 months left of school, and my sisters did too. And so my mom would always say, y'all better figure out what y'all about to do. Have y'all thought about what y'all about to do when y'all graduate high school? Because y'all need to figure it out, because y'all ain't staying here. So she would say this all the time. And I wanted to mention that just because, that mentality is like really prevalent in our community, in the East, especially in the Black community. In our community, this is a mentality that a lot of people have, and it's something that I kind of want to speak on probably later on in other videos and stuff, but just to sit there and to throw your kids out at 18 when they graduate with no plan, with no foundation is another form of like abuse. It is mentally straining your children. It's a mental strain because we are not prepared. We were never prepared. We weren't even prepared for life. And you're telling us, do you know what we're going to do when we graduate? You haven't even set up any college funds. You've never sat down and talked to us about colleges. You've never sat down and talked to us about any type of education. And now we're expected to get the heck out at 18 when we graduate, and we don't even know what we're going to do. That is insane to me. It's absolutely insane to me. People who do this set their children up for failure. You set them up to fail. First, we have no training in any type of finance to even finance ourselves or know how to manage money to even be able to sustain a life that we want outside of your own house, because that was never taught to us. We're brought up on a poverty mindset. We're brought up on a literal lack mindset. So, and you expect us to get out at 18 and figure it out. I mean, there's people who do it, but to say that this is right and this is the right thing to do, it's not the right thing to do. I would never think of telling my daughter, who, when she was 18, to get the heck out. What are you going to do at 18? Get out. No. I want to make sure my children are set up and financially able to maintain a lifestyle and to provide for themselves without their parents. That's the mind frame that we all should have. So just thinking back, my mom saying this, and I had a baby, so I'm like, my sisters were upset. I'm upset because I'm like, what are you talking about? Do we know what we're going to do? What are we going to do? We don't know what we're going to do. Nobody has talked to us about anything. We're just thinking we just have to go find a job. We've got to get a job some way, somehow. We got to go find a job. While all of our friends and their parents have set them up, college funds, everything, applied for all these colleges. We're going to school when kids are getting acceptance letters to colleges, and we're just sitting there like, congratulations. I don't even know what the process is to even do that. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So I don't know. I just I know I went on a little rant, but I think it's unfair, and it's wrong to set your children up for failure when you haven't taught them the basics of life. And that's something I kind of want to speak about in other videos, but right now I'll kind of end it here. All three ended up graduating. I graduated with my daughter. She was 4 months old when I graduated, and that was a happy moment. We all got our diplomas, and we started to look for work. So in the next video, I'll speak about me going into the career field in the corporate world and stuff like that. So thank you guys again for watching these videos. I'm going to try and be a little bit more consistent with my videos. I know you guys have been messaging me, when's the next video? I do these videos when I journal. So when I journal, I put it into a video. So I'm writing so I need to write more. I need to journal more. So I'm gonna try and be more consistent with myself. So you guys can have another video. I didn't think it was gonna be that serious. You guys are wanting to see the videos, and I didn't think it was gonna be. I didn't think it was going to be the way it was right now. So thank you guys for watching and tuning in, and I will definitely try and drop another one in the next couple of days. With that, I wish you all a good rest of the week, and sending you all again love and light.